Empire of Light was directed by Sam Mendes. It stars Michael Ward, Olivia Colman, and Colin Firth, and this movie tells the story of a romance that soon brews between a man and woman in 1980s England in the middle of a movie theater. It ensues about telling the story about also commenting on film, while their own love, and how that acquainted in the time they lived in. This film has a very unique vision, and I really like that film plays a major part in this movie. Like, yeah, it's kind of meta, it's a film within a film, they have stuff taking place, but I do like that idea because I adore movies so much, and that's the main part of this movie I think that really does well. It's just, there's this great monologue which I think kind of got spoiled a little bit in the trailer, where Colin Firth is explaining how movies work and how it's basically just tricking the mind with just all the technology we have, but it works so well. And that's kind of like why I like this movie somewhat, is because there's this feel to it where it explains the magic of film to you, and while in the process is trying to give you this magical film to watch in the process. So you're aware of what went behind what you're watching in a certain sense, but this film doesn't do everything perfectly. While I think the performances in here are absolutely wonderful and there's a really beautiful love story behind this, I wasn't particularly on board for everything, because I do think the love story develops in ways where the ideas were great behind what they were thinking about, but when they went out and they executed it, it just was okay, you know? Like, it wasn't great, it wasn't bad, it was okay. And I think that's the worst crime this movie commits, is at best this movie gets to be okay. Like, there are some scenes I'd say that are good, but there's nothing I think that's always good. It's the exception for it to be good, it's the exception for it to be bad, which it is in a few certain segments, but for the most part, the movie's okay. And while I, like I said at the beginning, have just such a warm feel watching this movie, I really enjoy the aspect of film, and I love the era, I love the way it's shot. This movie is shot by Roger Deakins. If you don't know who Roger Deakins is, this man has shot some of the best films ever. He's done Shawshank Redemption, Skyfall, which also was with Sam Mendes. This man is just great at cinematography. He's won Academy Awards. He's phenomenal. And he makes this movie something to behold, as he always does. And Sam Mendes, being the director that he is, kills it with these amazing actors, Oscar award-winning actors, most of them, or some of them, at least nominated. And that's what really perpetuates the story moving. Those people and the people behind the camera are what get this going. The score in here is just gorgeous for a modern film. They really cranked it up. And I think there's so much technically that is there. But beyond the technical level, I feel like under the surface where I need that meaty part, that richness, that stuff to back it up and give it the fluff, you know, it isn't always there, because sometimes this movie is just what we've seen before. Like, there's just this brilliant idea which they're trying to do with these kind of, I feel like, 3 different concepts in the film, but it's not always executed perfectly. And that's my biggest issue with this movie, I'm going to keep going back to, is it's in the execution that a film can die. If you have a great script but you can't execute it right, that's where we can see a struggle with the film, and things can go wrong. I think a great example of a film that has a really great idea but doesn't execute it necessarily the best with a great script is The Phantom Menace. That's an example, I think, to me, of a film, good ideas, put forward on, wasn't working out. There's nothing horribly wrong with this film. I think there's just some stuff that could be better. This review is kind of strange for me because I don't know how to talk about this film, but I wanted to because I liked it enough. So I'm going to say it's something where I do think you should watch it, but it's going to be a little odd, I think. I don't think it's going to be perfect, but it's something that's fun and enjoyable, and I liked. I'd say just go give it a fun watch. I'm going to give Empire of Light a 5 out of 10. So thank you guys always so much for watching. I appreciate you. I'll see you all next time.